Welcome back to Dixie Island Weather Center. My name is Caleb Crick. Today is Friday, September 26th, 2025, and I've got a lot of updates for you today, especially concerning the tropics. We have two areas of development out there in the western Atlantic Ocean right now. One is Hurricane Humberto, which is rapidly intensifying right now, has just cleared out an eye and will become a very, very strong hurricane. Now, this one will not impact the United States in ways like hurricane impacts or anything like that, but it will play a key role in what's going to happen with this other system close to the U.S. Will it curve out to sea? Will it have some interaction with Humberto that will pull it away, or will it survive and run into the United States? All this and more is going to be in this video. I'm going to be breaking it down, breaking down what I'm seeing in the track so far, the intensity of this system as it continues off to the north and northwest. I'll also be talking about the flash flooding that will be continuing across portions of the U.S. as we go throughout the next couple of days. We have a low-pressure system that is kind of installed over the East Coast and will be dumping a lot of rain over the next couple of days, which would be a pretty bad case scenario if this tropical system developed and ran into the same areas and caused even more flash flooding. So I'll be diving deep into the rain totals that we could see over the next couple of days across the East Coast. All this and more is included in this video, so let's get right into it. Here's a look at satellite imagery right now, and this is satellite imagery of the western Atlantic Ocean and parts of the East Coast. You can see this is Hurricane Humberto right now, very quickly strengthening. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a major hurricane later today. Probably by the time you're watching, this is already named a Category 3 hurricane. You can see it has just cleared out an eye, a very well-defined eye, and is really strengthening, starting to rapidly intensify. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a high-end Category 4, even flirts with Category 5 status. We've seen many hurricanes surprisingly do that over the past couple of years, namely Hurricane Erin this year that did that very, very quickly. With the warm sea temperatures, it is very possible that that happens as it moves off to the north and west. This will play an ultimate factor in what's going to happen with this other system down here just north of the Caribbean, just north of parts of the Dominican Republic and Cuba. This has been struggling to develop over the past couple of days just because of interactions with land there, but we will start to see this develop possibly over the next 24 hours into a tropical depression or tropical storm heading off to the northwest. Now, we only can track this out a few days, more of a certain track is only in the next 1 to 3 days. We do expect this to travel to the north and west over the next couple of days, but once it reaches a certain point, it becomes very uncertain. Some of the models are having this thing get caught up with Humberto speeding up a little faster, and it latching onto Hurricane Imelda or Tropical Storm or Hurricane Imelda and yanking it out to sea with it. That is still possible at this moment, or not really likely. And then another scenario is that this low pressure system over here, that will be stationary over the next couple of days, located over parts of Tennessee, northern Alabama, parts of the Carolinas, that may pull this system into the United States over once it gets closer to the Carolinas. One of these systems is going to pull Tropical Storm or Hurricane Imelda in the future. We do know as much as this is going to move to the north and west over the next couple of days. Before it reaches land, this is when it becomes very uncertain. Will Hurricane Humberto be close enough to pull this system away from the U.S., or will our low pressure system that is sitting over the East Coast be more dominant and reel it into the United States? That is still the question that many forecasters are asking. Once again, I'm very glued to the models. Whenever a new model run comes out, I'm checking it to see what the models are showing. Right now, most of the models are showing this continue to move off to the north and west and eventually run into the United States, get pulled up into this low pressure system. Once again, that is still very, very possible. It also is possible that it gets pulled away by Humberto. Not as likely, but it is still possible. So I'm continuing to monitor. If you live along the East Coast, you need to be taking precautions very soon. Once again, I'm not saying that you need to be evacuating quite yet. We still have a few days to watch this system, but you need to be getting your tropical storm or hurricane plan ready for the next couple of days. Now, like I said, we don't need to be urgently evacuating or anything like that. Urgently taking precautions to avoid this system at this moment because we don't even know if it will be making landfall on the East Coast at the moment. But I'm just saying, heads up to those who live maybe on the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, or North Carolina, maybe even a little inland in areas like South Carolina and North Carolina. A tropical storm or hurricane is likely to develop and head in the direction of the East Coast over the next couple of days. It doesn't mean it will move into the East Coast, but it means it will be moving in the direction of the East Coast. Things become a little more uncertain farther out into the future. So that one thing that you can do is continue to check back for updates, continue to monitor the Dixie Valley Weather Center. I will be posting updates frequently on this channel whenever new information comes out about this system, so that you're not left left out of what's going on with this potential tropical storm or hurricane as we go throughout the next couple of days. The projected track and intensity will change with this system. It's not going to stay the same. The forecast will change as we go throughout the next couple of days. So once again, that's why we need to continue to monitor for those updates and changes as we go into the near future. Another thing that you can do is keep checking, like I said, keep checking back for updates and share this video to get the word out to more people. Like I said, the system is not guaranteed to make landfall. Nobody can say that this system is guaranteed to make landfall on the East Coast because we really don't know yet. Even though it is the more likely scenario at this moment, it's not for certain. So what you need to be doing is continue to check back for updates, share this video so others know what they need to continue to watch for. Once again, you don't need to be taking urgent precautions at the moment, but just be prepared. Once again, though, one thing you can do is be prepared if this system is projected in the near future to make landfall. Once again, I'll have a lot better of an idea of what the system's going to do when it develops. We'll have that track from the National Hurricane Center and all that stuff like that. The advisories will be issued. There is a possibility we do get tropical storm watches or tropical storm warnings in the near future. That is, if this system is still likely to make landfall along the coast. Once again, I'm very glued to the models, what is going to be happening over the next couple of days. Now, here is a more broad overview of what's going on right now across the Atlantic Ocean from the National Hurricane Center. Here's post-tropical cyclone Gabrielle. We're not worried about that. That has caused some impacts to the Azores Islands throughout the evening and overnight hours last night. Just a few tropical storm impacts there. This is Hurricane Humberto, very strong system that will be moving out to the north and west and eventually curving out to sea over the next couple of days. Once again, like I said, this will play a factor into what is going to happen, whether it moves a little farther off to the west, whether it stays closer to Bermuda. Now, once again, I'm not hoping that this system hits Bermuda and spares us or anything like that. I'm just continuing to monitor the forecast for the potential. Once again, if this moves farther out to the west, it will have a better chance to pull this away. But if it moves farther off to the east, there would be more problems to Bermuda and more problems to the U.S. So once again, Humberto plays a big factor in what's going to happen. Also, this low pressure system that is sitting over the United States right now. Now, here is our development region. The National Hurricane Center is pretty certain that this is going to develop now. So am I. So are most people across the United States right now. We are pretty certain that this is going to develop. It is showing signs of further intensification over the next couple of days. This will develop and will move off to the northwest. Now, once again, we only know so far of how it's going to go. Where we really don't know. Once it gets to a certain point, it becomes a little more uncertain. Most of the models are still bringing this into the East Coast, but some of the models are still having it, swatted away and taken away from the East Coast, which would be a blessing. I really don't want any system to cause any problems, especially with all the rainfall that we are going to be seeing across the coming days on the East Coast. We don't need more rainfall. We don't need a tropical system. We don't need, storm surge or anything like that, especially in some of these areas. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene, and now we are going to be seeing another system that possibly impact some of the same areas with some of the same impacts, like flooding and, all that other stuff. Now, once again, like I said, I'm not saying this is going to cause big issues to the United States in the coming future. I'm not saying this is going to be as big of a system as Helene, because it most likely will not. But we need to continue to monitor this. Whether this makes landfall in the U.S. or not, this will become a tropical storm or hurricane. So whether it hits or not, it's going to be a very close call. So I will continue to watch very closely for these updates, especially with some of the flooding that is ongoing across the U.S. Across the next couple of days. The Weather Prediction Center has already issued a slight risk of flash flooding starting today across parts of the East Coast. This has nothing to do with that tropical system because it's nowhere even near the East Coast at this moment. But with that low pressure system that will be stationary over the next couple of days, there will be a lot of moisture for this system to use. A lot of moisture building across parts of the East Coast. In portions of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and into Virginia. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some flash flooding today in some of these areas with some of those buildup of shower and thunderstorms as we go throughout the rest of the day today. We'll see a lot of, especially if we see a lot of trading showers and thunderstorms, areas could pick up 1 to 3 inches very, very quickly. And it doesn't end there. We'll continue to see this flood threat over the next couple of days because of this stalled front. This front will remain in the same place, maybe move a little bit farther off to the east, but not very far. We have, once again, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of flash flooding, even bigger slight risk for Saturday. We will likely see a lot more rainfall over some of the same areas, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and into Virginia. This has nothing to do with that tropical system. This is before that tropical system even nears the United States coast. So once again, we'll be watching this flood threat at the same time we're watching the flood threat if this system, tropical storm or future hurricane Imelda moves into this area. So the area will already be coated by many inches of rainfall. And if this system does move into the East Coast, it will likely cause even more rainfall in the coming days. Even day 3, this is still before the system moves onto the East Coast, which is what most of the models are showing right now. The Weather Prediction Center still has a flash flood threat along the East Coast in portions of South Carolina and North Carolina. This does ring a bell to what happened with Hurricane Helene. This system will not compare to Hurricane Helene. That was a very devastating hurricane. Not as much with the winds or the storm surge, but with the flooding. This system could cause more problems with flooding than anything else as well, since the system won't even be as strong. It will, mind you, if this system does crash into the East Coast, it will cause some problems with some, strong gusty winds and storm surge. But the main issue will be with that flooding because we have so much rain that will be falling over the next couple of days across many of these areas. Here's a look at the total rainfall accumulations we could see going throughout the next couple of days and to when the supposed system will make landfall in the East Coast. This is assuming it does make landfall on the East Coast. And once again, it's still uncertain at this moment. But you can see all this rain that we are going to be seeing even without this tropical system moving in over the next few days with this low pressure system staying in the area. We will pick up anywhere from 1 to maybe 4 inches in some areas across portions of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. This is even a conservative forecast. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some rain totals higher than that over the coming days, especially with all the moisture we have to work with in this area. And similar to Hurricane Helene, this system will be shooting off lots of moisture ahead of when this system even nears the United States coast. So it will bring with it a lot of moisture even before this system makes potential landfall. So, even going further into the future, this is assuming that this system does make landfall on the East Coast. I'm just assuming right now with somebody, just to give you a general depiction on what could happen if this system does make landfall in the United States. It'd bring a lot more rainfall on top of what we've already seen, causing a lot of flooding in some of these areas. If this system does make landfall in the Carolinas, it will cause a lot of flooding, and not in every area, but this will bring a lot of rainfall that we don't need in these areas that have already gotten a lot of rainfall over the past few days, and we'll continue to see that rainfall in the near future. We'll see rain totals potentially from 7 all the way up there towards 14, 16, 20 inches of rain. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, especially if this system doesn't make landfall, but it's there's definitely the potential for that, and even higher rain totals potentially in some areas. So I'm continuing to monitor for the risk of flash flooding over the next few days. That does look like the main concern besides our tropical systems in the coming days. But once again, with that being said, that is all the weather info I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video and continue to check back for updates on this channel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already for continuous updates on this developing tropical situation. Here is a look at Hurricane Humberto, and this is just showing you what the conditions are like right now for development in the Atlantic Ocean. Very favorable. Once again, we haven't seen many systems take advantage of these warm sea temperatures, and we are already starting to see what that is like with Hurricane Humberto. That will become a major hurricane, very, very powerful hurricane. Thankfully, this isn't the one that's going to be impacting, potentially impacting the United States. This one will curve out to sea, but I'm just letting you know that I am continuing to monitor the forecast, and I will let you know the minute something changes, either with the direction of the system or with the potential intensity and impacts to the U.S. Once again, that is all the information I've got for you today. Make sure you are continuing to check back for updates, and I will see you in the next video.